They used to call me hard-headed when I was coming up. Grandma used to call me hard-headed. Quite a few different people. I used to hear it all the time in the house, in the house with my parents when I was younger. But see, this is the thing. When you've been raising yourself since about 8 or 9 years old, contemplating, having cognitive processing, your cognition is at such a level, which is for me, that was my case, because the veil of innocence was gone from me from 2.5 years old. So I've been thinking things and making decisions and analyzing my environment since young. And I could go on my own accord. So while they was calling me hard-headed, I was literally just reasoning my environment and making responsible decisions that I felt worked, right? And it wasn't like major life-changing decisions until I got into my 20s. Once I got into my 20s, nobody could tell me nothing. I can't even counsel with people. The only thing a person can do is give me information. And because I'm thorough with the way that I perceive, I ask very intricate, specific types of questions that's going to give me the specific type of insight that I need in order to be decisive and make the decisions that I'm going to be making. And most people I've discovered are waiting to be told what to do. They don't make decisions. They stand there and they're waiting for invitation. They're waiting for someone to give them permission. They're waiting for a model, for somebody else to step out there first, which is what I end up doing. I end up being the person who steps out there first, and then other people, sometimes they have status, capacity, or what have you, to be able to exploit the information that they received from me. They may be in a different social position, community position, or what have you. So they can take that information that I've made decisively with my assessment and research and application, sometimes even lived experiences, and they run off with it and they get to use it and get a greater residual from my work. And all they did was take. So this is what being hard-headed has gotten me. It also made me the quote-unquote litmus test. People come to stand next to me to see how tall they've gotten. I had to acknowledge this happened about 15 years ago when I said, oh my God, I was having such a major meltdown. Like, why do people keep doing this? I just can't have a conversation with you. I'm having a conversation with you, and before long, I was actually in a job interview over the past few years where a woman was actually sizing herself up to my resume in my interview. In my interview. This is what she was doing. And I'm sitting here like, this is the most bizarre experience, and I shouldn't even be here. So I'm really kind of annoyed that I didn't follow my first mind and not even put myself in this uncomfortable situation because I knew it was going to be a shit show. But I came because I was directly invited. But this is a reflex that people have that let me know that I am the litmus test, and I needed to accept that. One, because I've been making decisions since I was 8 or 9 years old. I've been cognitive about my decision-making process and how I want to operate in the world. And I don't wait for permission. If I go ahead and get an idea about something, I run it through. I do my research, I implement, I put in a strategy, and I move forward. I don't need to wait for an invitation. I don't need to wait for you to give me permission. Because half of the time, I have to say to myself, you don't even have the capacity to know exactly what the fuck I'm doing in the first place. So why I'm waiting for your permission? Why I'm waiting for your input? And I don't strong arm. I don't strong arm. I walk in there real lightly with grace and very specific intention because I know I'm supposed to be here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And time after time and time again, I run into gatekeepers who have a false sense of their own importance, but are unfortunately in position to be able to encroach on my quality of life and stop my free flow of movement. After I've done all the checks and balances, dotted all the T's, crossed all the I's, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and done all the things, and yet I received no residual for the work that I had put in, and someone else took it and exploited it. And I can always look to the left or right, up or down, and it's another black person. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that my development is not giving me the residual that this hard work of creating this rags to riches, getting it out of the mud experience that I didn't ask for, that I have thrived through, that many who have walked, they couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. I can't even say that. Because I've been through some very exceptional traumatic experiences. And not to, use this as a contest to see who has more trauma. That's not the case. The issue is a lot of people have gone through trauma, but what have they done with it? I don't radiate in it. You can't even detect any of my trauma unless I tell it to you. You can't detect it because it's no longer in my spirit. I've been renewed, cleansed, and yet I have to continue to move in society where we are. I'm trying to thrive through this human insanity, And people are themselves the greatest impediment. So this is why this work, my life here, the social experiment is so important. Because people need to see themselves. You need to see yourself as the catalyst for harm against another human being. And you need to check yourself and do something about it. Don't sit there in shame and grief. Don't sit there in embarrassment. Because all of them people, listen, I don't even bother trying to tell the stories and point fingers because it happens so frequently that that's not even the point. To me, that would be petty. To me, that would be asking for a fight unnecessarily. My issue is know that I noted it. Note that it's out there. Note that you are responsible for it. Note that you have work to do. Note that. And get busy with your work so that you can stop being harm to other Africans, particularly those like myself who have thrived through tremendous experience and who are trying to make their way and be through this path called life. Peace, power, and blessings. Your sister Nephra. My life here, the social experiment.